Hello and welcome to the Learning Crypto YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be taking you through a very powerful technical analysis tool that you can use for both trading and investing, and that is ranges. I'm going to be showing you how to identify them, how to use them, how they've worked in the past in previous examples, and a couple of really good higher time frame technical analysis setups that I think could produce some really good gains in the coming weeks. So let's get straight into it. As you can see on the chart, Solana has pumped 400% since breaking out of its weekly range high at about $26. Let's zoom into the chart because Solana's got a lot of examples that I actually want to use and go through. So the key things to remember when trading ranges, so the way to identify them is basically when price action has been sideways and you've got tested levels of resistance and support that have been tested on multiple occasions. So as you can see, this weekly range low at $12.30, clear level of support tested multiple times, and then the weekly range high at $26, again previous level of support, broke back inside and held as resistance for a number of tests. So you can clearly see it's sideways, two levels of well tested support and resistance, so a clear range there. Now, the things you want to remember, what you want to be doing is you want to trade at the extremities. So you want to either be buying the range lows or selling the range highs or shorting the range highs. You don't want to, as the phrase goes, diddle in the middle. So sometimes your mid-range can come in and be quite a good level of support and resistance, but you want to try and avoid getting drawn into trying to trade that. Usually a mid-range is a really good area for a TP. So if you longed the range low or shorted the range high, the mid-range is normally a good TP. Now, easy way to get your mid-range, once you've identified your range high and range low, just get your fib tool and it will be the 0.5 on your fib. Draw that on nice and neat. So Solana, as I say, the examples I want to show you, not only is it a case of buying the lows and selling the highs, you've also got to take into account deviation. So what I mean by deviation is this example here, where we had our range lows, we got those weekly candle closes below, and then we got weekly candle close back above here, which was on the 2nd of January 2023. And as you can see, since that point, it was up only straight up to the range highs. So deviations can be very powerful. We also got a deviation on the other side as well. As you can see, this weekly candle close above the weekly range high here on the 10th of July. Then the next weekly candle was a candle close back below. So we deviated back inside. And as you can see, that traded all the way back down to the mid-range. So again, going back to that point earlier, mid-ranges are usually good TP areas. Even if it doesn't get all the way to the other side of the range, i.e. from the range high to the range low, or the range low to the range high. You can also see on a higher time frame perspective, we were in this range for 49 weeks. So you can see how powerful these tools are. Once you identify that range, once you see that breakout, then it is up only from there, as you can see, as long as we don't get that deviation. Now, the final point on deviations, you very rarely get a deviation or two deviations to the same side. So once you've had a deviation of the range low and a deviation of the range high, the next break of that range is usually, 9 times out of 10, going to be a strong move in that direction. So as you can see from this example, we had the deviation of the low, deviation of the highs, and then once we broke the highs, we were off to the races. So not only works in higher time frames, but works in lower time frames as well. So I'm going to go through some examples. So we'll start off with the highest time frame example that I've got, which is the VeChain monthly chart. So again, you can see this range high at 0.027, range low at 0.015. You can see hit the range lows, traded up, broke out of the weekly range highs, came back and retested the monthly range highs as support. That was your trigger to get in, and then bang, you can see a huge move from that retest, currently 77%. So again, one to look out for. I did cover this on a YouTube video back in October before we broke out. In fact, back at the range lows, I was talking about this, and I covered it again once we broke out and talked about this retest of the monthly range highs. So yeah, go back and check those videos out if you like. Other examples, we've got Link. If we go to the weekly time frame, again, this was stuck in a range for a long time, as you can see, from May 2022 until we finally broke out in October 2023. But you can see clear levels of support and resistance, sideways chop, and then once we got that breakout, you can see we had that deviation back in August 2022, got back inside. So then that second deviation, bang, we were off to the races. And again, from the range highs all the way up 150%. Now, unfortunately, you didn't get the retest on that one. That one just kept going. Same with Solana. If we break it down even further, we've got some examples on the daily timeframes as well. So some trading examples. So if we go to ADA, this is our current day example. As you can see, we've got these range lows down here at 46 cents, range highs here at 68 cents, which is currently trying to break out. Had an attempted breakout yesterday, it failed, got back inside. So having another go today. If it fails to get back in, break out again today, that could be a good short signal. Or of course you can wait, see if we get the daily close back above. And if we do, then that's the sign of a breakout. If we break back inside, cut your losses, maybe flip short. So that's one to keep an eye on. A previous example on the daily time frame is BNB. Again, going through all the going through all the points that we talked about before. Clear range highs, clear range lows. We got that deviation here on the 25th, 26th of January. And then since then, traded up to the range highs, broke out. And again, you got the candle close above, held as support, and away you go. So that is something to watch out for on ADA over the next day or two. Do we get that close above? If we do and hold a support, then off we go. If it doesn't, or it deviates back inside, then it could be a good short. Daily mid-range as a TP, and then range low as your final target. Finally then, let's get into those higher time frame setups that I think are going to potentially print some pretty good profits over the next coming weeks. So here we have DOGE. Again, clear weekly range high of 11 cents, range low of 5 cents, and you can see we're looking to close above that weekly range high. We're currently about 12.2 cents, so well above that range high. We've already had that deviation back in October, as you can see. So I think this could be a really good trade. Whether you jump in now, maybe if you're looking at trading this, jump in 50% here, hold 50% back if we do get that bullish retest of the weekly range high. But again, you may also want to wait for the weekly candle close, because of course we've still got 3 days to go. So me personally, I'd wait for the weekly candle close. If we close above, jump in 50%, another 50% waiting at the weekly range highs for a potential bullish retest. And that's how I would play that. Of course, invalidation would just be a weekly close back inside. And then finally, FTM, very similar setup, as you can see. Clear range highs at 52 cents, range lows at 15 cents. You see we've actually held the mid-range pretty well as support. And yeah, coming up to those weekly range highs now. So again, you could probably go, if you want to jump in early, then so be it. You have to find your own invalidations. Me personally, wait for that weekly candle close above 52 cents. And it's same with Doge. Jump in 50% or 100% if it's close enough to those weekly range highs, and then another 50% on a potential retest of support. Again, you can see we've already had that deviation of the range highs back in January and February of last year. So I think a weekly candle close above 52 cents and FTM is off to the races. So hope you enjoyed that video. Hope you learned something. If you did, drop it a like, subscribe to the channel, and drop in the comments any examples you're looking at the moment, any trades you're eyeing up. And also a quick thank you to our sponsors as well at Blowfin Exchange, who have an exclusive offer of 15% cash back on deposits up to 500 USDT back to your account, only if you use the link in our description below. No KYC requirements and open to UK users. So be sure to check that out. But in the meantime, have a good weekend, and I'll see you on the next one.